So in this video, guys, I'm going to break down with you exactly how if I lost everything, if I had to start from scratch, how I would scale to 5, 6, 7K plus per month as an appointment setter. I guess the step-by-steps of how I do it. And I guess just give you guys like a really real and I guess non-basic way of just explaining, right? Because everyone tells you that, yeah, you just need to pick up a high income skill. But no one tells you why you need to pick up a high income skill, how you're going to do that, and like the importance behind it, okay? A little bit of backstory on me. If you guys know who I am, I got fired from my corporate degree apprenticeship job in London in 2024. Fast forward now, about 2 years later, I run a six-figure business. I scaled to 5, 6K plus per month as an appointment setter. And I've completely changed my whole life around and I help other people do this as well. And this was all after losing my job. Okay, so some of you guys watching this video right now, you may be in a situation where you're working a 9 to 5 job and you're figuring out, okay, how can I do this? Well, I'm the perfect guy to learn from because I've done this, okay? Some of you guys may be figuring out, or you might just be in sales, you might be trying to figure it out. You may be like, what do I need to do? Okay, well, I'm the perfect guy to learn from because not only have I been able to break records in online sales, I've also been able to break records in door-to-door sales, becoming literally becoming the top salesman in the country, in my office, breaking records, breaking personal records, and really just, conquering sales as a whole, right? So when it comes down to, learning how to do sales, and when it comes down to, learning from someone who's proven and who's actually done it, okay, I hate to tell you guys, but I am your guy. So I'm just going to jump straight into it right now. Number one, okay, and a key theme of all of these steps that I'm about to give you is that I'm going to give you the importance of why you need to do these things. I'm not just going to tell you why you need to do something. I'm going to give you the importance of why you need to do these things. And a few of these things are probably going to be things that you've heard from before. But I'm going to go into a little bit more depth on exactly why you need to do these things, okay? So step number one is I'd build a high performance network, okay? And what I mean by a high performance network is I'd build a network with other people or with guys that have done what you want to do or that are doing what you want to do. And I'd quite literally surround myself with them. Okay, I'd immerse myself with them. Okay, and there's two options you can go about this. Okay, obviously you can either join paid networking groups. You can join groups online that are paid. You can join a program. You can join an appointment set and training program. You can learn from other people that are crushing it, or you can quite literally just join free ones. Okay, you can join ones where they're free on Discord, they're free on School. All you have to do is join. And what you need to focus on and what you need to do is you need to become a prominent member of the group and you need to document your journey. You need to document you on the grind. But I'd join that group. I'd join the free groups or I'd join the paid groups, no matter which ones. And then I'd make sure that I was the most prominent guy in that community. And what I mean by prominent is not necessarily getting the most wins, although, posting about you winning and showing them you getting the most wins would obviously help. But what I do is I just be the person that's the most active in there. I'd be the person that's asking the most questions. I'd be the person that's sending the most private messages to all of the other guys, asking them about their journey, asking them for help, okay? I'd be the person where, every single person in the group knows about you as being the most active, being the most switched on, and being the most clued guy, as that is how you're going to actually be able to network with the higher level guys, okay? I'm in plenty of communities now, and, I'm a very busy man. I don't have time to be in the community all the time, sending messages or being as prominent as, I should be. But when I first started in sales, best believe in every single community I was in, I was asking the most questions, okay? And now because I'm in the sort of communities I'm in, I'm a higher level guy. Every single new guy that joins, not only do they know me because I used to ask them most questions, but I also know about them because they put themselves out, because they ask so many questions, and because they're always talking, because they're always chatting in the groups. Now, whenever, someone comes in and, they're making waves, I find out who they are first, or I speak to people in the group and they tell me about them, all because that person who's joined has made the most noise. Okay, all because they're the person that's clearly putting in the extra mile, they're putting in the effort to go and speak to everyone else in the group, and they're making their mark, okay? All you have to do, right, 9 times out of 10, if you want to get into sales, obviously this comes down naturally, but you just have to show other people that you're a cool guy. Okay, and if you can show other people that you're a cool guy, other cool guys are going to want to hang around with you, okay? And when it comes down to becoming a cool guy and, developing yourself, it just comes down to doing the work every single day, okay? Making sure that Making sure that obviously you're constantly getting better at the skill of sales. Okay, you're constantly using all of the free help, using all of the free assets online, and you're just making sure that all of these people that are in the high level networks that you want to join, they know about you. Okay, you need to kind of make it so that it's inevitable for them to actually want to learn from you and to want to, I guess, work with you as well. Step number two. Okay, when it comes down to appointment setting and sales, and being able to scale to 5 to 6K plus per month, after you've started to build your high level network of guys that are crushing it, or that you've just got your own group of brothers now. Okay, we've gone past the first stage. You've got your group of brothers. Now I'd master your energy and your confidence first. Okay, and the reason why I say this is that sales is an energy transfer. When you're doing sales, when you're working in sales, it is literally simply a transfer of your energy. Okay. The reason why you can get people to buy is because they can feel that you've got good intentions, you are someone that can help them, and you are someone that they want to work with, and you are someone who's got their best interest in heart. Do you know what I mean? And the way you can show that is through your energy and your confidence. Naturally, no matter what, when you start in sales, your energy is probably going to be terrible. When you start in sales, you're going to be nervous. When you start in sales, you're going to be stuttering a lot. Okay. But obviously, that comes after repetition and repetition. But what you need to do is when you start, you need to make a conscious effort. And you need to do this consciously. Okay. There's a difference between doing it unconsciously and consciously. You need to consciously try every single day to make sure that your energy and your excitement, your C factors, your smile, your energy, and your excitement, and overall just the vibe about you need to make sure that that is up to scratch. You need to make sure that that is 10 out of 10. Okay. Because genuinely, you can have great energy as a salesperson, you can have great confidence, and you will outsell people that have better skills than you, but have a worse energy and that have worse confidence. Okay. No matter how many skills someone's got, no matter what experience that they've got, if they don't have confidence and if they don't have energy, if they don't go about their life or their sales interactions with a certain level of aura, they're not going to make any sales. Okay. So the number one thing you need to focus on is, after you've built your high level network, is you need to focus on your energy. Okay. And this comes through, mastering role play. This comes through, role playing and actually, putting in the reps in, because, confidence comes from competence. But after you've obviously built your high level network, now you need to put the repetitions in to make sure that you master your energy and your confidence. The next thing is you need to get uncomfortable daily. Okay. So a key thing that I used to do on my journey and my ascent to becoming a sales, someone who's like myself, who's become amazing at sales. I build sales teams, I train sales teams, is I got uncomfortable every day. Okay. I remember about a year, almost 2 years ago, I used to, I used to actively every single day, right? I realized that a lot of young men nowadays, they don't know how to go up and speak to women, or see a random woman on the street, go up to her, start a random conversation, and actually, get her interest. Okay. And this was something that I didn't used to have. So one thing I did to get uncomfortable every single day was I set myself a KPI. My KPI was that I needed to cold approach 3 to 5 women that I find attractive every single week, and I need to do that week after week after week after week. And that was something that it actually used to cringe me out. Like, I couldn't do it. I genuinely start stuttering and I'd get nervous initially when I had to do it, because it's one of those things where you're not taught these things. Okay. It's one of those things where you're kind of taught where if you have it, you don't. But the truth is, someone like me is living proof that this is something that you can actually engineer into yourself. Okay. And in order for me to actually engineer that into myself, I had to get uncomfortable. I had to put myself in uncomfortable situations, and I had to do that day in, day out, week after week after week, until I got myself to the point where I was immune to it now. I calloused my mind, and that wasn't something that I struggled with. Okay. But all of that came down to getting uncomfortable every single day. Okay. And I know you're probably thinking, what does talking to girls have to do with sales? It builds you that confidence and it gets you uncomfortable, so that when it comes down to, doing these business interactions, because you're used to putting yourself in uncomfortable situations and in uncomfortable sort of, uncomfortable environments, you can go out there and absolutely flip and smash it. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so that's the number one thing. That's the third thing. I'd go out there and get uncomfortable every single day. The next thing I'd do is I'd go and find someone already living my dream life. Okay, I love to say this to people. There's 2 ways you can learn. Okay, if you're a driver, there's 2 ways you can get to your destination. You can either follow the signs on the road. You can follow the signs, and you can make an hour trip actually take you 2 hours. Or you can do what every logical person would do, is use a sat nav, get there quicker, save time, save money, save headache, and actually get to where you're looking to get to a lot quicker and a lot sooner than you would have if you were doing it yourself and if you were trying to get there by science. You see, a lot of people think that investing into themselves is a risk, or a lot of people think that actually taking a bit of themselves and investing into them is not a wise idea. And the thing that I love to say is, at the end of the day, if you're not going to invest into yourself, if you're not going to find someone who is living the life that you want to live and actually start to, I guess, learn from that person and do what that person does, what else are you going to spend your money on? Are you going to spend your money on food? Are you going to spend your money on nights out? Are you going to spend your money on clothes? Are you going to spend your money on things that give you short-term dopamine that don't actually do anything for your life? Or are you actually going to invest into making yourself a better person? Okay, no matter what it is, a lot of you guys have probably spent thousands of pounds on food or clothes, on things that you probably don't even use anymore. Okay, can you warrant investing thousands of pounds into your own personal development, into someone to teach you exactly how to become the person that you want to be? That is quite literally what I did in order to become the man that I am now. Okay, I invested into my mentor. I still pay my mentor £175 a week. And no word of a lie, I would not be here if I didn't have my mentor. I would not be here if I didn't take that stump and if I didn't take that jump and if I didn't invest into myself. Okay, but it was one of those things where after I, invested into myself and I started learning from that person who I wanted to be, I started to be able to become more like that person, and I started to become like the person that I really wanted to be. Okay, it's one of those things where at the end of the day, you need to understand you can either invest into something else or you can invest into yourself. Okay, you can invest into the SNME 500, and I promise you, what do you think? Do you have more trust in? Do you have more trust in stocks, trading, shares, things that you have no control over, or do you have more trust in yourself? Okay, which brings me on to our fifth and final point. All of these steps, you need to take them away and you need to execute like your life depends on it. Okay, you need to build your high level network. You need to make yourself uncomfortable every single day. Okay. You need to master your energy and your confidence. You need to go and find someone who you want to be like. And you need to execute like a madman every single day, like your life depends on it. And I promise you, when it comes down to making 5 to 6 grand per month, it will be a piece of cake. Okay. That is quite literally all you need to do. It's simple, but it's not easy. As long as you take everything away that I've said and you implement this, there's no reason why you can't go away and, implement. Okay, these are all of the things that I've done to help other people achieve these feats as well, and other people get there. And this is something that you watching this video